I think we need to learn from regional economic commissions that have already started to do this, whether it's ECOWAS or COMESA or SADC.
Before we sign any agreement, it is very important for us to know the pros and cons, the costs and benefits.
We should be setting clear targets around cost competitiveness. Regional integration should be a culture, should be a way of life, but we need to hold each other transparent, accountable and responsible.
We should approach economic integration as a permanent function. It's not a once-off.
We negotiate trade agreements, towards global economic powers. I think for Africa, as a whole, it's really important to speak as one voice in a large bloc representing 1.3 billion people as a market, instead of going one by one. For the case of Rwanda, it would only be 12 million.
If we could launch regional bloc visas, at the very least, if we cannot give visa, if we stick with visa at departure, let us at least make it more simpler to obtain visas by at least moving on e-visas and using technology to facilitate that process.
I think it's best if we create a conducive environment for a better agriculture to thrive in Africa.
To enhance intra-COMESA or intra-Africa trade, I think we really must increase production and value addition.
So I think in terms of how to increase production, we will have to rely on raising productivity per unit of land. That should be our main priority.
We have government measures that are meant to increase production productivity, but that has been undermined by other policy measures that limits cross-border trade. So there is a need for a comprehensive national trade policy at a national level.
There are three key things that are missing when it comes to women-led businesses. The first is that they are still predominantly in the informal sector. The second thing is that there's a education or a literacy gap even in trying to deal with the financing and the formalization of their businesses. And the third thing is that they lack a lot of financial support, but UN Women is doing an incredible amount on it.
I just want to reinforce the need for building capacity of all stakeholders to be able to engage with their government and ensure that they hold them accountable. And we also need a process of depersonalizing development agenda. Because if you depersonalize the development agenda, then continuity and sustained implementation will be realized even when actors change. Because our experience on the continent so far is that people ascribe initiatives to the person on the seat. And when he leaves, the next person, just like I decided even at the level of AU, everybody comes with their own agenda. But if we have an agenda that is owned by the people, when you leave, the people will say, welcome, this is what we are doing, let's go on. I think that's very, very important for sustainable and mutually beneficial regional integration on the continent.